Okay folks, we are back, part 2. Troopers cleaning up. A lot of kit out the back as well, still to be unpacked. We saw a little bit earlier the Blues leaving for the first time in a hell of a long time actually, via the front gates. As mentioned, the only time that ordinarily happens is special occasions, state opening of Parliament, coronation, etc. More importantly, despite the fact the back is locked, it's been quite an interesting few things this morning. Especially, of course, the first snow of the year, folks, here at Horseguards. Anyway, they've changed over the horses and the box, and we saw that in part 1. However, the back will not be reopened today. People are just entering into the yard and realising that, hold on, there's actually nowhere to go because it is closed. Trooper, looking quite wonderful. They just relieved his colleague, and I dare say his colleague has now got his feet up with a bacon sandwich in the cafeteria. On this side, the trooper's making sure his colleague is perfect, just brushed his shoulders. Police are changing over as well, and you know what, given how cold it is, I can hardly say I blame them. Drilling work at the back now, you can hear that. Now, is that the start of the renovation? I have no idea, it might be. I think it's super actually how the trooper comes out in number 2 uniform, make sure that his colleague is absolutely perfectly presented. Look, job done. He looks immaculate anyway, but as we know, the troopers don't raise their hands. For example, if the plume is fallen in some strange way from the helmet, the troopers don't move to adjust that. This is why their colleague comes out and makes sure that everything is okay. There's no slip-ups with the uniform, nothing is amiss, because don't forget, when you've got a heavy cloak on, etc., you can't even see the rest of what you're wearing. They haven't got a mirror hidden behind the archway. Okay, back to the front. I will see, guys, if we get people actually posing with the horses. If we do, great stuff. If we don't, all right. All good, yeah? Oh, what did he say? Can we come inside? Wait, I'm not sure what he asked. Oh, there we are, guys. It wasn't too long. We had to wait until we got a fur. This lady's got a fur. And a lovely fur it is as well. Hoping it's not real, but you never know in London. They're trying to engage, but the trooper's not having any of it. He would if it were his parents, but obviously it's not. Big group arriving. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have to get out. Maybe around and see you. We knew it. Huge group arriving here. It's an Aussie group, by the looks of it. And some of my colleagues said that film we've already had to change over their devices because the battery is not lasting. I've got a good amount of time on this. I will not make it, even if something super interesting happens, to an hour with what's left. But that doesn't matter. We will see. Okay, this trooper's happy to engage somewhat, I think, because otherwise they would be having a sort of massive conversation right in his face. I'm pretty sure I saw him say something as I walked over. Lucky for them. Oh look, the entire Australian national football team is just lined up over here. I think they're waiting to see if they have to want to go up and pose. Oh, here's the first one. Kingsguard.
Oh wait, I'll send you them. Ready, James? Imagine you got beat or something. You learn a couple.
Wanderers Australia is on their jacket. Yeah, Wanderers Australia. Aussie football team? No idea.
I'll send this thing on TikTok, right? Anyone else need shit?
I'll ask if I have the chance for it.
Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Be close to it, by the way.
Hey, go Wanderers. Little Indigo can be a nipper when he wants to be. Move along, guys. Sorry, it's very busy now. Move along. Let's follow the Wanderers. I want to find out if I can where they're from. Which state in Australia? It's too busy here, Grace, to get close.
Oh, you can touch it.
1, 2, 3. Now again, you look at the horse. Now you look at the horse. Thank you. Look.
Hey, where are you from in Australia? I saw all of your Wanderers. Is it a football team?
Yeah, AFL.
Ah, Australia. Aussie football, yeah?
Yeah, Gaelic football. Yeah, we're going to play at Ireland.
Ah,
Island sides.
where are you from in Australia, guys?
Coffs Harbour, everywhere. Sydney.
Ah, it's a pan-Australian group, yeah?
Yeah. So
Oh, wow. Yeah? How cold is it here compared to at home?
Warm at home. 36.
Yeah, oh, is it really? Wow. Struggling a little bit with this, or is it alright? Just about, yeah? Yeah?
It's just like we go to the snow every year, so this is no different.
Ah, makes sense. Hey, have a good trip, guys, yeah? Okay, so all over the place, a pan-Aussie football league team, Wanderers. If they're famous in Australia, guys, I didn't even realise, my apologies. I know nothing about AFL, but hey, go Wanderers, eh? Some of them are super well dressed for the cold, some of them are completely oblivious of the cold. And it's 36 at home, so it's a big contrast. At least a lot of them pack the right clothing.
Just gently. That's it. Just gentle and then it doesn't get. Thanks, Stitch.
Oh, Sydney. Massive group actually, so many of them, wow. I should probably actually have mentioned the channel to one though. I'm sure they'd like to see themselves on the channel. And they're off up towards Trafalgar Square. They're done. It's still pretty rare, actually, folks. Unsurprisingly, given the geographical factor, for there to be lots of Aussies and indeed Kiwis here in London. So a pleasure to see a huge AFL group, especially the guy that had the fake bear skin. Kind of cute in a way because everybody assumes that all the kingsguards wear the bear skin. Here, lifeguards, blues and royals never wear the bear skin. Those bear skins are confined to the 5 regiments of the household division: Coldstream Grenadiers, Irish, Scots and Welsh Guards. But it's the thought that counts. Indigo's not a happy boy this morning. I don't know why, a little bit restless. A lot of people filming this morning, actually, a hell of a lot. Which is kind of curious because, like I said, that weird tourist dynamic of one stands back, everyone stands back, is still in place. Look, it's open. I can walk into the yard, but no one, not one single tourist, is in the yard. Look, completely deserted. Again. Freaky, eh? Now, listening to that heavy-duty work at the back, I can't see that that they're going to get that done and reopen tomorrow. So my money's firmly on reopening after Christmas, everyone.
Thank you.
The back that is. Yeah, we've just got an arc of people right now, but no one is is going through to get pictures with the guards and the archers. Don't be enthused at the front though, is it? Often that I'm standing in front of the horse that I wasn't standing in front of before, something will happen. It's always the way here. I think that the smart bet is Indigo. Why? Because he's feisty and really doesn't take any nonsense. It's always this box, isn't it, folks? We noticed many times, always this box, that the horses seem more restless in the other end, and I have absolutely no idea why. A lot of you seem to think that issue we had with Q10 the week before last was due to a horsefly in the box, in the video where he was kicking out. Really polite, actually, the tourists. There's a queue out, like super polite. The biggest problem everyone's having this morning, the tourist that is getting into position. You can see, look, when I'm standing there closer to the box, it looks as though it's very quiet, but you can see it's jammed. This end's a teeny little bit more manageable, but back there, wow, way too many people. It's okay. It smiles despite the cold. Good. Yeah, not an easy one actually, even with two lots of gloves. Yeah. Hey. I don't think guys this morning actually anyone saying thank you, even a gesture, which is somewhat unfortunate. I'm going to wait until in just a moment. People sort of normally film a little bit one and then swap. I typically go back and forth like a yo-yo for different reasons, and it's not because I have ADHD, guys. Not that it would matter if I did, but I'm a little bit hyperactive when I'm here sometimes. This horse is much more passive. I think that's why most people are preferring to get their pictures with Indigo. I'll be back there shortly. luckily today everybody, as well as the horse and the guard, everybody else is getting this lovely lady with her red bobble hat in their pictures. So yeah, some people just stand there for like an hour. I know. Tourist site in numbers. Don't worry about the 100 people behind. Tourists getting very impatient, and fair enough. Lady wants to take pictures of her mum and dad here on the right. Yeah, all the way on holiday from I'm not sure. I think Spain. Might be wrong. I mean Portugal. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, only fair to keep it moving, eh? Moving. The guard just came out to do his rounds again. He's in the middle, but I'm more interested in the tourist responses here. Okay, luckily the guard decided to come over to this side. I know you're going to have to go the long way around to get my lunch order today, my good man, but please don't forget the pickles, double pickles. That gate's been closing. Yep, they need to go the long way around. A troop of food. Yeah, the tourists really are kind of like giving each other dirty looks. Like, get out of the way, it's so cold, I want my picture. Look. Oh, the first thanks of the day, everybody. It wasn't to the guard though, it was to the person that took their pictures. Since they electrified the reins on the Kingsguards horses, we luckily, folks, don't see people grabbing the reins anymore. Yeah, a few people did. Got themselves an instant perm haircut, and boom, word spread like wildfire. Either that or the fear of appearing in a very famous YouTube video. A few hardy souls have now wandered inside, finally. $12:32. Pretty sure we might just make it to, I was going to say the changeover. I mean, it's a changeover. It's more like a change back to the horses that were there originally. This guy's it's like, can I get my flipping picture before I freeze? I've got massive admiration of respect for oh, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but typically the police don't pose for pictures here because of the guns. However, they have in the past, I've seen make exceptions when it's somebody from foreign law enforcement. And I did hear them asking which part of Spain you're from. So he might well be a Spanish police officer on holiday in London. He took the gloves off to touch the horse. Is that I came away from Germany, I'm not going to get bitten by the king's horse. Good lord, so many people are sort of laughing and smiling gently to my right. It's so funny, look. father's been busy in Harrods this morning. That's it, horsey, behave yourself. Good stuff. Can I touch it? Some people will go in such a suspicious way, like they're going to do something naughty. This lady's actually wheeling herself into position. Brilliant. I do remember, in fact, earlier this week, a lot of you were asking in the comments, or there was a discussion ongoing in the comments of one video about accessibility. Okay, not just here in horseguards, but generally in terms of getting to central London, moving around. In the space of 2 minutes, we just saw a young lad in a wheelchair. This lady here is in a wheelchair. Accessibility is good, people. Westminster does have step-free access. Okay, there is a lift, Westminster Tube Station, and that's 7 minutes maximum. Or, even faster if you're zooming it past Downing Street. So this place is fully accessible. Okay, massive gates at the front to get any size of vehicle through. We see mobility vehicles, wheelchairs, all kinds of things. In other words, it's highly accessible, as much as one could wish for a building of this age. Okay, so folks, Indigo. Yeah, let's head back down towards Indigo. Uh-oh, hold on everybody, look what I spy. Again, oh my goodness me, wait. Just when I'm thinking it might not happen, police spotters in the vehicle behind, look at this. Just Stop Oil again. Oh my goodness me. Seriously, folks? Let me see if it's any of the regular roll call of suspects. We will have a lot more of Indigo tomorrow, folks. That's why I'm willing to compromise today. Let's see what happens with Just Stop Oil. Photographers and the police cameraman at the front, obviously, recording it so that nobody can claim they were unlawfully arrested. Wait, is it Just Stop Oil? Hold on, wait a second. Yeah, it is. Oh, here we go. The fellow with the orange high vis. He was here last time when I was filming. Trying massively hard not to fall into the public highway myself. It's not easy to film this, guys. I remember I had this last week walking backwards along Whitehall. There's so much street furniture. Okay, I'm trying to walk close to the police cameraman so we get all of it. And there's a lot of street furniture, bollards, lampposts, trees. Now, I wonder where they're going to go to get arrested today. Yeah, huge police presence for what, a handful, half a dozen or so. That was my bag hitting a bus stop. Oops. Well, last time, I'm pretty sure, they walked in the road opposite the House of Parliament. That's when they were arrested. So many flipping lampposts and things, guys. Look. Let's see, look. It's, oh my goodness me, wow. Is that not heavy though, the one that you guys use?
Yeah, it's not right.
Oh, again. Yeah. I'm trying not to get in the police video at the same time. 1 second. Yeah, they still use a sort of a camcorder style device, battery power, which I think would not last anywhere near as long as my phone, for example. Also, we need to be careful of the traffic that's coming. Now, I don't know 100% if they're going to sit themselves down the road again. They'll be instantly hauled away if they do. But let's see. Goodness me, eh? Officers probably had their feet up, having a nice bacon buddy, cup of tea, and then boom, over the radio. Bunch of clowns. Please escort them along Whitehall. Okay, Downing Street, guys, is here. Notice they've got reinforcements lined up over there, if needed. Another... Oh, in fact, they are super prepared today. Loads of vans in the middle, look at this, ready for the arrest. And another big group of officers waiting here. This won't last, actually. They'll deal with this in moments if they decide to sit down and make a nuisance of themselves. I know you don't know as I do, but do you reckon money's on them Parliament Square again? What do you think?
My money isn't back there, so...
Oh, you were thinking they were going to sit back there? Ah, it's always Horse Guards or Parliament Square.
I thought, well, I was down in the park. There was a ferry outside down the street, so...
What was it? I think at the beginning of last week, they got to the top here and then sat down right in the middle, but you guys hauled them off so quick, I don't understand the point. Mental, isn't it, really?
That's why they stick to the pavement a lot more now.
Yeah, I know, they're trying to be smart, but hey. Okay, so the police were thinking they were going to do it back there, as you heard. This is how kind of ad hoc this whole thing is. And as he mentioned, they now stick, the officer then mentioned, they now stick to the pavement much more than they were doing previously. Okay, so I'm watching the hand gestures from the Just Oil guys that are filming them for their own PR. These two guys on the right-hand side there in the JSO orange overalls, they shoot the little Twitter videos and stuff. As long as they're still walking on and giving the little hand gestures I've noticed they sometimes make, then the good news is they're not going to stop yet, but an absolutely huge number of police. Now look. Oh my goodness me, there's yet another massive group of police behind me. So they've certainly got the numbers, actually. They have enough police here to arrest 50 protesters. Oh, now we've got tourists coming behind me. If you and I keep meeting like this, people are going to start talking about us. Okay, do you know where yet? Parliament Square or?
I'm not entirely sure.
Wait,
They keep changing it.
They keep changing it? Okay.
Everyone thinks I'm in charge. I'm really not. I've less clue what's going on than the police do. They have more informants in there than we do.
They don't know either today, so it's up in the air. Okay, so no one knows, folks, basically. Just Oil don't know, the police don't know, photographers don't know, videographers don't know, police support don't know, no one knows where they're going to sit.
No.
But they are going to sit at some point. Because if they don't, they won't be arrested. If they don't get arrested, they won't get the publicity. Let's get myself out of off the public highway and back on the pavement. Lovely weather actually now. Beautiful. Nice and sunny and crisp. White on white was magnificent. Yeah, I mean, you can see how quickly this is going to be closed down. The second that they go in the road, boom. But they've got now 10 officers for each protester. And another group, look, more vans here, and yet another group of officers. I'm not filming this way because of the light, obviously. Another group of officers there ready. We've got 50 plus bodies here for this group. Notice the police always film it on the left. Yeah, my money's on Parliament Square again. That always makes the biggest impact. Even though it might only last for 30 seconds, the photographers swarm over because you've got, you know, all those pictures of Houses of Parliament behind, you know,
You have one shot of the front of the march, 50
democratic shots with the House of Parliament, you know, seat of government, etc. in the background. Big Ben. Bing bong. I don't know what time it is. It's 12:45. The tourists that are walking along, coming across this group, I'm wondering what the hell is going on. They're filming by me today, guys, actually. I actually haven't fallen down the stairs or anything else yet. And that's quite lucky because look, there's the subway. And I'd probably not survive that. Okay, right, so they're squishing around this way. But lots more bodies here ready if they decide to go for it. Flip it, it's absolutely packed here. I don't know what they're going to do, where they're going to go with this. If I had to choose right now, my money's going to be in the middle of the street behind me. So, I'm going to go to the middle and wait. Officers already fanning out in anticipation that they're going to sit down at some point shortly and obstruct the public highway. It won't last. Oh, hold on. Whoa. Damn, that's some good driving. Look how close that is. Whoa. Okay, so officers have found out around the House of Parliament behind me, so if they do decide to sit there, they've got it both sides covered. That also means I can now head across carefully before the traffic moves and get a spot right on the other side of the road. I don't need to worry about the traffic behind me, which is my main concern. Apparently plastic is out of control, according to this fellow. He's got a point, it is. But my goodness, though, folks, how much is this, again, police operation costing? Right, traffic's about to stop. Let's see what happens now. Are they going to plonk themselves down like a bunch of plonkers, or are they going to continue walking and maybe go for the front of the House of Parliament? Oh, it's a tough one, this. Really, really not sure which way to go. Even the officers are not sure which is the best way to go at this point. All the officers with the camera. For the moment, they can't access the street, the protesters that is. So I'm going to follow the police along who are filming it. Apologies, guys, for the light. I hate filming this direction in the mornings. Anyway, here they are, look. I'm trying not to get myself right in the street, folks, because it could be problematic. Right, let's see what happens now. Okay, they've stopped temporarily. Yeah, look, they're going to go for the same spot as last time. I'm sure they are. It was exactly here on this side of the road, which is precisely why the police have lined up here. Look, ready in anticipation for it. Okay, get ready. Here comes the sit down, I'm sure. Unless they're going to trick us all and not bother. Yep, here it is. Get ready for it. Here we are. Okay, police will now warn them that they're about to be arrested if they don't get out of the road. But loads of police all over the place here. Road is closed.
Don't mind moving out the way because it's still alive.
One second, I'm gonna get myself arrested for being in the wrong spot. Right, here we are.
They're not moving, they're breaking the law, they do understand the law, we will be making arrests. Okay, so 3011A, 3011C,
Oh, they're being careful. He said, make sure when they arrest them, there's a red man on the crossing. Brilliant. Officers are way on it today. And just in case they can't chuck them away, look, group there, another group there. More than enough. More than enough. Okay, here's the first arrest. Bye-bye, chap. See ya. There he is. Look. Number 2. Bye-bye. See ya. Number 3. Number 4. Second, we've got a couple more here. There's a dentist, apparently, this guy. Oh, number 5, this lady. She's a nurse. Bye-bye. And this is the last chap. He's still in the public.
Okay, move him there, please. He's under arrest, move him. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Handcuffs.
It's okay. That's it. Cuff him. Lock him down. Naughty boy.
Yeah, G.
Well. Right, I just need to be careful myself not to get in the public highway. That was fast. They shut that down even quicker than last time.
Okay, let's get everyone over there together so I can do a count.
Okay, so they're all being put over into this area so that they can be counted. Tourists here getting a picture, look, group photo without even realising what just happened behind them. Extraordinary. Okay, Rogues Gallery. Oh, sorry, chap. Rogues Gallery. They're going to form them up here. Look, search them, ID them, make sure they're not carrying anything they shouldn't have. This chap's handcuffed because he didn't listen, didn't get out of the road. Oh goodness me!
3011, skippers on me, please. Okay, so you've had arrests. Yeah. You've had arrests. Okay, have you had arrests?
Guys, intimate, up and close with the Metropolitan Police here, and we just arrested the Just the Oil protesters, now being searched. They've always got legal observers here, that is Just the Oil, so the officers are super careful that they do every single step. This is why they said the chiefs over here briefed that they don't make any mistakes, which means they get off on a legal technicality. Extraordinary the way, folks, to see this. So anyway, I was right. My instincts were often right with this. Parliament Square it was. Makes sense. Always makes for the best pictures for the photographers and everyone else. You know, or we were arrested. You know, this is supposed to be a democracy. We should be allowed to protest, and they are allowed to protest, folks. They're just not allowed to obstruct the public highway. But then again, neither am I or anyone else. So, you know, fair's fair. Oh, she's been arrested, about to be searched. Another one here, arrested, about to be searched. Anything they find will be bagged up. Wow, crazy, eh? Right under the statue of Churchill as well. I'm trying to move back a bit so I can get some of, you know, the absolute dream image of British democracy. There it is. We've got the clock, we've got the officers, we've got Churchill, we've got the red buses. Only thing missing, folks, is a red phone box. Extraordinary, eh? I mean, really, really extraordinary. It's a damn shame I can't quite fit everything in. And it isn't bad, is it? I mean, I kind of got the clock as well, just about. Can't get all of it though. I need to get back super far for that, but it's still a pretty interesting, colourful image. Photographers have found themselves a brilliant spot on the other side of the hedgerow here. I have no idea how they found that, but it's a good spot. Red on his lapel, inspector. In that case, so he's an inspector. So he's the chief on the ground for the moment. He's trying to keep people as far back as possible. Let me see if I can find that little spot where the photographers managed to squeeze up behind. Good little spot there. So, yeah, here it is. Better light now, that's it. Okay, got it. Oops. Almost fell into the bushes there. Very close. Oh, got it? It's okay. Oh god. It's a real tight fit here. Real squish. It's a lot of cash though, folks. All taxpayer cash to fund the policing of this lovely operation. There we go. Continue to find bodies that are prepared to get arrested and potentially get a criminal record, which can lead to all kinds of problems. It's nowhere near as serious as having a criminal record in the US, for example, but it's pretty serious in terms of, sorry chap, got it? In terms of employment prospects and other simple things like, for example, some landlords now are asking for DBS checks, which are criminal records checks when you apply for a tenancy. So it's massively problematic. Even if it was something as minor as obstructing the public highway, failing to follow a lawful order, I believe that's also an offence, etc. I can't remember if it's section 13 that they use ordinarily to tell them that they're not allowed to obstruct the public highway. But it's just, yeah, isn't it ridiculous, everybody? I do have some sympathy with the cause, shall we say, but I have absolutely no sympathy at all with the methods. They're time-consuming, unfortunate, use a lot of very valuable police resources, and absolutely cost a fortune. Oh, wait, we're being told to move away, to move along. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just letting them get past.
There we are, 1 second. Okay, so apparently they don't want everybody being on this side. I'm hoping that this... wait, there we are, sorry. Heritage, this chap, heritage folk, look. Okay, I thought the police were saying it. It's just this guy, heritage warden, apparently. I didn't even know they existed. Heritage warden. I never saw heritage warders here. You guys are responsible for Parliament Square, yeah? Oh wow, I never saw this before.
Been here for years.
I'd never seen it. Thank you.
They came in during the Iraqi war. There used to be a protest here every single day during the Iraqi war. And so the Parliament sold the land to a private company so they could bring in sound ordinances. So now you can't have like tents or anything here. It's another way of, not their fault obviously, they're just doing their jobs, but it's been brought in as a way of Parliament stopping protests from happening outside the building. So now it's owned by private land, it's no longer public land.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you.
More
Very
of the
interesting.
closing of the Commons.
As your fountain of information, is it normally a section 13 that they use to stop everybody obstructing the public highway? Do you remember?
It varies. They had been using a section 12.
Section 12?
I believe today they use the section 7.
Section 7.
So basically all of the new public order bill that Suella Braverman brought in through secondary legislation, which means it was denied in the House of Commons, as in the House of Commons voted against it. The House of Lords voted against it. And the UN is currently saying that the UK is in breach of international law because it messes with our freedom of assembly and freedom of protest. Basically what it means is once we get to the courts, if they had arrested for obstruction of the highway, which is what they used to arrest us under, you had your Article 10, Article 11 rights. But under the new Public Order Act, they don't apply. And so it's a way of kind of getting rid of peaceful dissent and protest because the Metropolitan Some of them, to their credit, like Mark Rowley, did try to fight it at the beginning, pointing out that his officers were not meant to be tools of the Tory party. Unfortunately, he has now given in. And then you have some officers who love doing it, like himself, and then you have other officers who you speak to in private who are going like, we know this is wrong, but we've got families and we've got kids to feed, and and so eventually, hopefully, this, whenever there's massive repression in the past, that's usually not long before you win, because people will start to realise this doesn't just affect just Stop Oil, this is any protest, any group, doesn't matter what you believe in, your rights have now been stripped from you. And as soon as people start realising that,
I think a lot of people have realised it, and I always like to listen to what you have to say, but I think the problem is, and the reason you're going to struggle with ever winning public support for this, is that this massively inconveniences the typical man or woman on the street.
that's definitely the story they're trying to tell you.
I don't think it's a story.
So let me be
I don't
clear.
think it's a media enforced
Let me be
narrative.
clear.
I think it's I'm a man
disruptive.
on the street.
Yeah.
I am out and about filming. I don't like to be inconvenienced, neither do the other people that are out and about, especially those that are driving to work and have a family to feed. Now, you're mentioning that the officers have families to feed, and they do, but so does every single plumber, electrician, delivery driver, anyone else that is out and about. They have a family to feed. Is it right that the people that disrupt the public highway are able, potentially, to decrease the earnings of those that get stuck because they can't get to work? That's the counter-argument.
Yeah, no, it's an argument we hear all of the time. So
Is it a fair one?
It isn't when you look at the big picture. So, for example, this is one road out of, I think there's roughly 1,300 roads in London. At this very moment, how many of those roads are being disrupted due to Tory cuts that have meant there's more roadblocks, more disruptions? Are the Tories being arrested for those Section 7s that are disrupting people's work? Right now, there's people who really need the police officers' help, but due to Tory policies, they cannot go out and serve the public because they have to deal with protesters. Which a few months ago, there'd have been 4 officers. They'd have made sure we'd have walked down to there. There'd have been about 20 minutes of disruption, probably less. They'd have got off the road, there'd have been a few speeches, and then they'd have all continued on with their day. As well as that, in the past, protesters used to meet with the police in advance of any of our demonstrations, and we used to talk so we could have things like ambulance lanes, all these different things. The issue is now is you have police officers like this who carry around cameras, and so anyone who gives police officers that type of information is now recorded, and it's built up into this big file. I've seen my file, it's about this big, and it's all about, I'm an organiser because I know this information. So my job as a safety facilitator is kind of been made redundant, the same way as blue-bibbed police officers' jobs have been made redundant, because our jobs were to work with each other to ensure minimum disruption to the public while we could get our voices heard in a democratic society. That's now gone, which is really, really difficult. You've got people who are left less than 30 seconds on the road, less than 10 seconds on the road. And I'm going to point out just this man over here. Plastic is out of control. He's been standing there for about, I think, 5 years roughly, and he has never been arrested, as the police will point out, but how many times has he been debated in Parliament? How many times have we been debated in Parliament? How many times has he got onto the front page of the news? How many times have we got onto the front page of the news? Unfortunately, although I support his right to do this, unfortunately, he's been ignored for years and years and years, and he'll continue to be ignored because he's ignorable. The government can ignore us unless we make disruption. The women got their rights because they made disruption. Queer people got their rights because they got disruption. Even the police force, although they might like to deny it, the reason the police have the equality that they have now, the fact that there's women working in the police force, and people of colour working in the police force, has all been because police officers stepped out of line and caused disruption until we had equality within the sector.
You can't really juxtapose the treatment of certain human rights, though, with what you guys are protesting for. It's a different thing entirely. That's an unfair. You can't juxtapose the two. I wouldn't agree with that. It's an unfair comparison.
Disagree. Human rights are intrinsically linked to a livable planet. So most wars that we're seeing at the moment are being fought over resources, and in years to come we're going to see more fights over war, over water, over natural resources. Basic human rights only exist when you have the right to life. The UK government has knowingly breached international law. They have gone against their own political advisors, they've gone against their own scientific advisors, they are being questioned by the UN, they're being questioned by the European Union due to the stance that they're taking. UK, you only have a right if the police allow you to have that right, if the government allows you to have that right. If it's only going to be measured on whether the police like it, or the government like it, then you don't have the right to protest. If you don't only have the right to speak if the government agrees with it, then you do not have the right to speak. Even Boris Johnson, who I would disagree with on many, many levels, said, but when the Public Order Act was first discussed years ago, he said, giving the police these powers some of the time will take away our rights all of the time. Right now we are seeing different demonstrations are protested differently. There's demonstrations taking place on the roads in other places, and depending on what the police's response is and what they're protesting for, it's different. And this has been brought to court, and has been brought to court at the moment. We've got 9 young people in prison at the moment, one who had to be released. This is the fun bit. They were arrested by a Metropolitan Police officer, brought to a cell, brought to court, remanded into prison, spent 2 weeks in prison, and then were released without charge because there was no evidence of the crime they committed. There is people in prison right now who will never be charged in this country because they have committed no crime, and yet they are still in prison. And that is what we're calling a democratic society. You know, it's terrifying because there's loads of Metropolitan Police who are absolutely lovely and delightful. You speak to them and they're going, we are here and we're going to do our best to try and help you get your
But you don't understand that these guys are not responsible anyway for sentencing, the imposition of sentencing guidelines,
no,
or
but
what the magistrates decide in terms of custodial sentences.
Absolutely. What the police are responsible for, and they are separate. So the police are servants of the Crown, not servants of the Tory party. So there's many powers that this officer, apparently why he's using his camera, is to build up evidence to get conspiracy charges against me and to arrest me. Now, I've seen the size of my file. They already have enough evidence to do that. So they can make these decisions whether it's necessary for public good or interest.
But if you were not out and about in some way, I wouldn't go as far as saying instigating, but certainly participating, and I've seen you many times, then you would, I mean, by doing that, you're handing them the evidence that you say they're going to use against you. So you can't have it both ways. Either be out and accept the consequences, or don't get involved.
I accept the consequences that exercising my democratic right in a free society may put me in jeopardy due to the laws that are currently in place in the UK. But that is not a reason not to do so. You know, I will still go out and live my life as I should, whether that means a police camera will follow me to the pub like they've done on many occasions, have 4 vans flashing blue lights, 20 officers watching me drink in a pub.
But wait, you're looking at this the wrong way. That's actually a huge positive, because it means you can never get mugged, you're never going to get your phone stolen. There is an upside to that. You know, I'm not making light of it, but
private security. But I would hesitate for the Met to realise that there is bigger issues right now than people exercising their democratic rights.
That's a fair point. But then again, the last question I would ask, and I think this is a question that any member of the public here would have first and foremost, of everything that all of you, yourself included, are wearing today, how much of it is completely free of oil-based products?
Absolutely, that's a bit of a misunderstanding that a lot of people have about Just Stop Oil. So Just Stop Oil is not asking to get rid of all oil products. Right now, you know, I'm an abolitionist, I don't believe in slavery. I'm standing in Parliament Square and using it as my place to protest, even though most of it was built on slave money. That's not an argument. So yes, right now, oil and gas is essential. It's 100% needed in the UK right now. No one in Just Stop Oil is saying, turn off all the taps right now. What we are saying is licenses and consents need to cease. We are saying is that in the UK we have 8 years of reserves. What we are saying that is selling our natural resources to foreign investors is not in the interest of the British public. When the energy crisis hit, all the oil and gas services that we had in the UK could have been nationalised and would have avoided the energy crisis that we had, but instead they're given to private companies who then get British taxpayers' money while our old people freeze in their homes, while our NHS collapses, while our schools collapse. What we are saying is that green energy is cheaper, it is more reliable in the UK, and that it can be used to offset until we can get to the point where we are in a carbon neutral economy. We are certainly not in that now. When I'm done this protest, I am going to go to an underground, I'm going to get on a train, and I guarantee you somewhere along the oil was used in that. My shoes that I'm wearing now, although they are second hand, have oil as part of their making, so no one's arguing that. You know, when you're asking for improvements in society, it is not saying that you should not live in the society as it is now. Of course we have to. When I go to work, I take public transportation. Not all that public transportation is green. Even if it is green, there's a lot of arguments to say that green batteries and cars are not as green as we think they are. And so there's a lot of arguments that can be made, but the point is asking for a better society does not mean that you have to live a perfect life now.
Agreed and well said, but you have, I think, to admit, and in closing words, there is a small element of hypocrisy in the Just Stop Oil movement.
There's not a small, there's a massive amount of hypocrisy.
There's a massive amount of hypocrisy. Okay, that's all right. That surprises me. Okay, explain.
Hypocrites. Because right now we are arguing for something that's not in place at the moment. We are asking for it to be put into place. Right now I am saying that we cannot live green lives. I don't live a green life, although I do my best. I buy second hand, I take public transport where I can, I walk where I can. I still don't live a perfect life. You know, I have a television at home. People could say that's a luxury item. That doesn't in line with oil.
Wait, hold on a second. I didn't even have a TV, and I'm not a member of Just Stop Oil, so now I've got the moral high ground here
We're not saying that we have the moral high ground, because we don't. We are all ordinary people. Today, doctors and nurses marched. You know, other days it's students, other days it's ex-police officers marching. You know, we are a wide variety of society, and it is not as easy to say that you cannot say that you have to be perfect before you can ask for change.
Yeah, fair point.
That's a ridiculous thing.
I've been surprised by the almost infinite number of bodies that you guys seem to be prepared to, you know, sacrifice, as it were, letting them get arrested.
Well, this is what
week after week is extraordinary.
This is what I've been saying to the police. You know, is a policing response going to resolve this problem? Let's say they do successfully, which they might do, arrest me for conspiracy and put me in prison. By the way, up to 10 years is what I could get, up to 10 years in prison. Do they think after I serve my 10 years in prison, I will come out and go, oil is great?
Yeah, it was all a huge mistake. I was wrong.
You know, that's not going to happen. You know, and that's what they learned. And I accept that I'm not comparing myself to these campaigns. What I am saying is, we can look to the past and see what worked and happened. So, during the suffragette movement, eventually the police went to the government and said, this is a political issue, not a policing issue. You need to resolve it. More recently, in an environmental issue in Europe, and I've drastically, terribly forgotten the name of the place, but there was protests on one of the main A roads in this country, I think it was Norway, and the police union that they had over there went to their government and said, we will not arrest any more of these people, we cannot arrest our way out of this, you need to come to the negotiation table. And as a result, their government has begun the talks for removing oil and gas subsidies in their country.
Okay, I will end it there, but let me ask you something. Did they say bye John when they left, the officers?
Yes.
Is your name John?
No, Sean.
Oh, so what is it? Sean. I thought it said bye John. I think like, hold on.
No, they do. Some police officers, and it's why you see me a bit more antsy today, he particularly annoys me. He likes to wind me up. He likes to anglicise my name because he knows that annoys me. He likes to mock the way I talk, the way I walk. He will come up to me and, he's just a particularly vindictive officer.
Ah, okay. No comment from me, I need to remain neutral, but I appreciate you talking to me anyway.
No worries.
And how have you not got gloves on? Flipping out.
Because there's oil in gloves.
Oh, good lord. Hey, take it easy, yeah?
Have a nice day. Will you be there tomorrow?
Oh, good lord. Where? They're where?
So, they already know, so it's fine.
Oh, God.
Scotland Yard, midday. Tomorrow.
Scotland Yard midday?
Yeah,
What is it, another protest tomorrow?
Release our political prisoners, yes.
Okay, Scotland Yard midday.
Is that what it is? Yes.
Wow.
You don't follow our social media?
Goodness me. Okay, so anyway, yeah. Release our political prisoners, folks. You heard it here first. Tomorrow, 12 noon, Scotland Yard. I like that guy. Not because I agree or disagree with him, but because he is a fervent believer, as you see when he speaks, in his cause. He's passionate, okay? Someone with a passion is always to be admired, as long as that passion is not harming anyone else. And strictly speaking, he's not actually harming anyone else by protesting. He is inconveniencing people, but he's not actually harming anyone. And that for me is a sort of a determinant. If I see to myself, comment negatively. You all know my views in terms of Just Stop Oil. Let's just say they're not exactly positive, but it was an interesting chat with somebody that is articulate, has a point to put across, is polite and respectful, and more importantly, is willing himself to be arrested for what he believes in. Hard to really say anything terribly critical of him for his beliefs. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed that sojourn. That was a very surprising turn of events. I was not expecting at all that would happen, but it did. There you have it. I'm now out of here, but I'll be back at Horseguards, guys, with Indigo, of course, and the gang tomorrow. Wow, we went from snow and disaster earlier to that, and actually quite a nice day. Back in the next video. Bye for now.